The world of family SUVs is so hotly contested that brands really have to offer something unique to stand out. And with the likes of Renault, Peugeot, Volkswagen and many more all making very handsome family SUVs, what makes this, the new Citroen C5 Aircross, different? Well, turns out it does offer something quite considerably different. And when it comes to the electric version, this might just be the most important electric car in Britain. But before I reveal why, I'm going to show you the new C5 Aircross's design details, reveal the new Citroen interior design language, and also test the practicality and tech. Plus, we're not supposed to do this, but I've got the keys, so we're going to take it for a spin. Whoa, this is totally different. There is a lot to show you. But of course, there's also a lot to talk about on the exterior first. Now, Citroen, you might know, is famed for its focus on aerodynamics. Think back to its very slippery and space-age cars of the 70s. This isn't very slippery in appearance, but it's got a lot of very cool features on it, which I will show you, that help to make it more efficient. Firstly, though, up the front, we're going to recognize the design language if you know your latest Citroens. Very C3-esque, same kind of headlight design. This is their vibe they're going with, same with all this up here. And you've got the Citroen slats all around there. But if you look a little bit closer, you'll spot we've got a bit of customization possibility here. That's color you can change if you want to. And you'll spot our first aerodynamic bit underneath the car, which is this plastic bit that hangs down and actually pushes the air around the tire, away from the tire, which is actually one of the most cumbersome bits of a car when pushing through the air. Talking of cumbersome, you can get 20-inch alloy wheels on this new C5 Aircross, and that's the biggest wheel size you've ever been able to get on a Citroen. But on this car, this hybrid car here, we've got 19-inch wheels, and I think that is a very good thing, because firstly, it means you've got less wheel to curb and these wheels are still quite nice. But secondly, it means you've got better ride comfort, more squidge in the tire, and this C5 Aircross, and this is very important for British drivers with bumpy roads, Citroen is offering this car as standard with its hydraulic bump stop technology, which basically means it absorbs bumps much better than a traditional system. That is unique in this class. And bearing in mind, I'm going to reveal in a little bit, the price of this car, it's a really, really good thing. Now, if you follow me around to the side, you'll spot more familiar design features. Look, they love a bit of this stuff, don't they? Citroen's really, really proud of the way the line in this car pulls right the way through into the tail lights. And anyone who has seen the concept, by the way, you're going to really like how they've done these tail lights. But first, I want to show you this feature in the C-pillar because it's another aerodynamic bit. Now, these slats here, you might be thinking, what's that all about? They're aerodynamic because apparently it helps to clean up the airflow or move it around in some way. And also it helps to slim the roofline because the top of the car is slimmer than the bottom. You've got this muscular base, but slightly slimmer top, which is good for aero. But to make sure the car doesn't look a little bit like a triangular shaped car, because that's not very good looking, Citroen has taken from the C5 Aircross concept these rear lights. And thankfully it's not a light bar because everyone's doing a light bar right now. We have got a black bar, but the lights are all focused around here. And these help to give a bit more muscle, a bit more width to the car. Of course, you've got your roof spoiler here. The rear window's pretty large, so it should be good for visibility. And I think the tail of the car is the best looking bit. And actually, it doesn't matter what you go for, whether you go for this hybrid, the plug-in hybrid, or even the electric car, because there's no visible exhaust pipes, it's gonna look the same. And I think, well, the rear is smart and handsome, the front is sensible and nice. What do you think? Oh yeah, and you might have noticed, C5 Aircross is looking pretty big these days, isn't it? Well, that's because it's grown in length by 15 centimeters compared to the old car. And more importantly, the wheelbase has been pushed out further into the corners, which should improve interior space, which we're going to check in a moment. Something interesting, by the way, this car is actually narrower when you include the mirrors than the old C5 Aircross, but the body is wider. I think it's something to do with the mirrors. So you've got more space inside, apparently, but it's no bigger in terms of width, which is helpful for urban drivers. Now, the exterior was nice, but the interior is where all the big changes are. And in fact, Citroen has done some things it's never done before in this car's cabin. Firstly, it's given the car a sofa. And I'm not talking about what I'm sitting on. I'm talking about this bit here that wraps across the dash and into the doors as well, because this is all cushioned. Now, if you touch it, you'll spot it's got like fabric you get on your sofa at home, and it's even true on the door. So when you're resting your arm or pushing up against the door, it feels like you're leaning on your sofa, and that's very deliberate. That was the inspiration for the dash. Citroen's also done something no other company within the wider group, the Stellantis group, has done, and that is it's integrated some of the biggest screens we've seen yet. Now, the one in front of me here is nice, it's sharp, it's crisp, it's clear. Nothing to write home about, but it does the job well, and you can see your maps when you're on the move. And you also get a big head-up display projected directly onto the windscreen, which is nice. You've also got this massive screen here, but it's the biggest one we've seen on any brand from the group. So it means now, not only do we have bigger buttons, bigger widgets, so it's easier to use on the go, it's kind of smartphone-like in its operation. I'm not sure what software it's running, but it looks kind of Android-ish. But also it means we've got a home button, on the screen all of the time. And the climate control, while it is digital, and that's a negative, I'd rather we have proper dials and knobs to play with. Instead, it's on screen, but at least it's permanently there, so I can adjust my temperature on the fly quite quickly. And there are a few shortcut buttons as well to get to other features. There's another thing that's quite important, and that is the ADAS button. If you don't know what ADAS is, basically it's the Advanced Driving Assistance something, not literally something. It's the annoying stuff that bings and bongs at you when you're driving that we all don't like. But Citroen has put a button down there, it's the car button, and you can shortcut the ones you want to turn off all the time. So every time you start the car, you press that and you can just tap off what you want. I'd rather it have a single button somewhere like the Renaults have, but this is the next best thing. So at least it's easy to get those off. Also, we've got other creature comforts as well. You've got a wireless charging mat, which is cooled, by the way, so your phone should stay nice and, well, not hot. And storage space is great. This is a floating screen, so there's loads of space down here, cup holders, space in here, massive door pockets as well. And, well, I have to call out the seats because these seats are lovely. They are really comfy, really squishy. They've got these padding in them as standard. You'll get this in all of the versions of this car. But if you pay a little bit extra, you can also get massage seats for both passengers in the front. So not just the driver is sitting there with a masseuse on their back. It's a nice interior this. All right, the materials don't feel particularly high end, but it feels quirky, fun, and very usable. And I almost forgot about the steering wheel because this is as quirky as steering wheels get these days. It's just a Citroen style 2-spoke one. We have got these buttons up here. They look capacitive, but they are proper buttons, thankfully. Now, before I show you the back seats and the boot, there's something really important I need to talk to you about, and that is pricing. Because while we haven't got confirmed pricing for this car yet, I have it on good information that it will undercut the Peugeot equivalent, which is the 3008. So that means it will start in the low 30s thousands of pounds. And that's important because not only will it undercut the Volkswagen Tiguan, not only is it going to be close to the Skoda equivalents, but it also means this mild hybrid leaves plenty of room for the plug-in hybrid above it to be in the mid-30s or maybe the high-end 30s. And also the electric version should duck under the 40k mark. And that's important because that's where the UK's luxury car tax is. So not only do you not have to pay that, but it also means, given the range of the electric car, which is a claimed 422 miles, the electric version could offer more miles for your pounds than any other car in this class. That is going to be very important if you're looking at the electric one. But even if you're looking at the hybrids, there's a lot that this car offers. Because honestly, I am so surprised with how much space there is in the back of this car. Now, remember the extended wheelbase I mentioned earlier? Well, you can really tell that that's happened in the back seats because I've got so much more legroom than you would have had in the last car. Because this car, doesn't matter what powertrain you go for, because the floor is always going to be the same, I have to admit, the slight drawback is that even in this mild hybrid car, where we don't have batteries all over the floor like you would in the EV, the floor does feel a little bit higher than I'd have expected, and that's just because it's the same in all cars. So my knees are a little bit higher, but the legroom is unquestionable. It's really good, and I can still tuck my feet under the seat ahead. And the crucial thing is, I'm just under 6 foot. Thanks, Mum and Dad, didn't quite make it to the big number, but it means I've got a ton of headroom above me here. So for most people, this is going to be a great backseat experience. And of course, you've got these lovely squidgy Citroen seats, which genuinely, on a long drive, are going to be really, really good. Now, if you don't have anyone in the middle, you have got a fold-down armrest, as you'd expect, a couple of cup holders and, I don't know, space for a crayon, I guess. You've also got, by the way, you can fold these seats down individually, but you can, if you're in the back, you can pull a lever down here. So you don't have to reach over and twist if you don't like doing that. You just reach a lever down here, and then the back bench can actually move a little bit. Not tons, but a little bit. So for longer drives, that's going to help with comfort. If you're in the middle seat, it's also quite wide. An adult can genuinely fit in here width-wise, and the foot tunnel in the floor is pretty low. There is one there, it's not totally flat, but it's like that tall. So middle seat experience is gonna be okay. If you've got kids in the back, 3 will be fine. Adults, obviously it's a short straw, but it's impressive. And the fun don't stop in the back, because if I open the electric tailgate, you will see that the boot space has grown quite considerably. Now, obviously the car's bigger overall, so it's not massively surprising, but especially if you used to have a plug-in hybrid, or you've got a plug-in hybrid of the old version and you thought the space was a bit narrow, a bit tight underneath, well, it's been massively improved, particularly under the floor. Now the boot space is the same no matter what version you go for. So this mild hybrid has the least batteries, so naturally there's smaller batteries up front, but even if you went for the full EV or the plug-in hybrid, you still get all of this. That is a load of hidden away space under the floor. And you can see some markets, and maybe an option is to add a spare tire. But if you don't, you've got all this storage space, and this floor can be moved into different positions and held in position too. Can be flat as well, just like that. And of course I mentioned that the rear seats, they fold down in 3 parts. So this isn't just spacious, it's versatile. It's just a really good family-friendly boot. And I've noticed if you need a bit more storage, if you want to put the kids, I don't know, books on top, they can sit up top on here as well. So they've really thought out the practicality. Now, I'm not supposed to do this because this is a design reveal, but we've got the keys. The car is beeping at me because I've just started it. Now this is our first drive, kind of, in the car. And I've got it in drive. I just want to comment on how it feels at relatively low speed. And I have to say, that powertrain is so recognizable because it's the 1200cc we know from so many other cars. But what I can feel is Citroen's light touch controls. The steering is so light, but yet it's not overly sensitive. And I can feel the powertrain is pretty smooth actually to pull away. I can feel the hybrid oomph a bit, but it feels like a petrol engine, so that's going to be a good thing for hybrid buyers. And generally the ride on this smooth but a little bit bumpy surface feels really cushioned. I mean, we just went over a ridge of tarmac there and I couldn't feel it at all. This could very well be the most comfortable car in this class by some margin. Now, of course, that was just a sneak peek of what this car is like to drive. If you really want to see what it's like on the road, and if you want to see whether the electric version can actually do over 400 miles as claimed, make sure you're subscribed because we will thoroughly test that car to reveal its secrets and truths. And I want to ask, do you think the loss of a diesel model from the lineup is a big loss overall? Let us know in the comments below. But if you really need a Citroen with 7 seats, well, we have a thorough review of the Citroen C5 Aircross, which can come with 3 rows of seats. I strongly suggest you watch that because it gives some secrets away for this car as well.